Welcome to lesson 10 of Google Sheets for Beginners. This is going to be another short little lesson. I always say that and then ends up being like 15-20 minutes, which isn't really short, but that's me. I'm long-winded. That is why I want to remind you before we start that in the bottom right-hand corner of the YouTube video, there's a little cog setting wheel, and if you click that, you can change the settings of the video, and one of those settings is speed, and you can make this video play faster. If I'm going a little bit slow for you, you can listen to me at 1.5 times the normal speed, or even double the speed to get it going really fast. Of course, don't forget, you can always pause, you can jump around inside the video. You don't have to necessarily watch every second, or, you know, if you want to, because that's the way you're going to learn, and then go ahead and don't forget, you can always go back or move the little thing back to rewatch something I just did. So that being said, let's jump into lesson 10. It really is going to be a shorter lesson. We're just going to talk about grid lines. We're going to talk about saving a file, and then we're going to talk about changing location. Grid lines. When I say grid lines, what I'm talking about are all the little gray lines you see on the screen here, which separate the cells. They help you identify the cells in the rows. There's a line that goes all the way down, and then there's a line that goes all the way across for every column and every row. And you'll see it's on every spreadsheet. Those little gray lines. So you can hide those if you don't want those. I don't know any reason why you would not, but just so you know that you can do it, if you go to View in the menu and you see Grid Lines is checked. So if I uncheck that, now I have no grid lines. Now this, it's only affected for the sheet you're on. So let's go here, go View, uncheck Grid Lines, no grid lines. Now, there's no reason that I can think of why you would not want to have those. It is different than visual lines that you draw in a chart. So, for example, and we're going to cover this in a future lesson, so I'm not going to say a lot about this. I'm just going to do it so you can kind of see. So now, you see I've drawn lines just for that section. The grid lines are just to help you. They're not there if you go to print. Grid lines by default aren't going to print because they're not actually part of the spreadsheet. They're just there to help you and to guide you. Whereas these lines, because I literally drew these lines around this little chart, if I print this, those will print because those are actually drawn lines around this table. So that's how that goes. If you go to View and go to Grid Lines and check it, they come back. And that's really the most important thing to know, because really this is just for if you were to get, let me jump to the right one. If you were to get a sheet someone sent to you, and maybe by accident they had turned the grid lines off and they didn't know how they did it, and you got it and you opened it and you're like, oh my goodness, especially if it's a big sheet with lots and lots of data, you're like, I can't tell where data is because there's no grid lines. You know, just go to View, go to Grid Lines and check it, and the grid lines will reappear. So that's grid lines. That's pretty simple. Now let's talk about saving files, and we've kind of talked about this earlier in an earlier lesson, but I just want to go back over it to make sure you understand. In Google, there's no file save as. You go here, file, there's no save. You're used to in Word documents, Word sheets, you're used to doing that, going to file and saving. But remember, Google Sheets, because it's online and it's on the internet, it's in the cloud, as they say, it's just constantly being saved. And there is a cloud, appropriately enough, up here to represent that. And so you see this cloud, it has a little check mark in it. That means it's being saved, everything you're doing. And if you type something and hit enter, you'll see saving right there. It says saving, and then save to drive. So, and then that goes away, but the check mark's there to let you know things that you've done are being saved or have been saved. See, save to drive. At any time, you can click that cloud. It'll let you know your status. Let you know that you're online so that things can be saved. So you click that, and it says all changes saved to drive. Now this part we're not going to really talk about. This is maybe for a different lesson for Drive, Google Drive lessons or series. But what there is an option, you can turn on a feature that will save your Google Sheets or Google Docs to your actual computer, to your hard drive on your computer, and you can access them offline. Even if you don't have a connection to the internet, you can use them, and then the next time you have an internet connection, it'll sync and save them up to the internet. So there is a way to do that. We're not talking about that in this class because this class is about Sheets. So maybe later I'll do a Google Drive class and talk more about the different ways Drive works. But this class is just about Sheets, so just know there's no file save. It's just constantly being saved. And if as long as you have an internet connection, the document is online, then it's just constantly being saved. And you can see the status by clicking that little cloud up at the top there. Now, how about save as? In Excel or Word, if you want to save a file to a different location, you click Save As. Or you just go to your Windows File Explorer and you click it and cut it and then paste it in another location, or just drag it to another location. But in Sheets, again, you're not working on your hard drive if you're working online. So how do you do that? And you saw this a little bit before when we were making copies of tabs, and we did the copy to, sort of the same thing. So with Google, you go to, if you want to save it to a different place, you can go to File, and then you just go to Move. And you see, you have your option here. Any of the folders you have or the drive, you can go into any of your folders and choose a folder, or you can create a new folder and you can move it there. When you do that, you just select the Move Here button and it will move it to that new location. That would be the equivalent of in Windows Explorer, just clicking a file, clicking and dragging it into a different place, a different file or a different folder, a different area of your computer. You just, again, go to File, Move, and then you can move it to anywhere in your drive. And let's go back to my main drive. This is my main drive. So you see right now I'm in the Resources for Class folder. And then I can go to this YouTube folder. There's different folders I have in Drive, and I can move that document to any of these folders. Or the main folder, which is my drive. I could move it there. So anywhere you move it, then it'll just be there when you go to the main Google Drive. So that's how you do that. Now there is another option, and that's the copy option. And so if you click Make a Copy, it's similar to when we did this with the tabs. If you remember, we did tabs, and then when we did Copy To, where you could copy to a new spreadsheet. This sort of is the same thing. So if you say File and then Make a Copy, you have the chance to rename it to whatever you want to rename it to. And then you have an option to choose whatever folder. And you can click here, and you can click the back button to go back to another folder. And here are my two main folders. I could pick this folder and then click Select, and it would just make a copy, named whatever I named it, and copy it there. You do have the options to copy comments. We're not going to talk about sharing. That's a more complex, more advanced thing. I might talk about that in a future Drive class. But that's how you make a copy of your document to either to the same folder or to a different folder. You just go to File and then Make a Copy. Pretty simple. And that's pretty much it. That's how you do it. That's how you make the grid lines disappear or reappear, and how you save a file. It's doing it automatically as long as you're using this online. And as far as saving to a different location, you just move this file to a different location, or make a copy of this file in a different location. And that's how you do that. Pretty simple. See, I told you that this wasn't going to be too long, right? I think I stuck to that more or less. Just a few simple little things. I'm trying to cut the classes down so there's not so much information in each individual lesson. But anyway, that's it for this lesson. If you have any questions about that, feel free to post them down below in the comments, and I'll do my best to get back to you as quickly as I can. Don't forget to favorite this playlist so you can keep up with future videos in this Google Sheets for Beginners series. And subscribe to my channel, and you can get notified of all the videos I do, which I do a lot of other stuff with product reviews, household and electronics, and dog products, as well as different fun little videos. So you can subscribe to my channel for all that stuff, and don't forget to click that like button, because that is a nice thing to do if you are enjoying this series or getting anything out of it. And if you hate me, click the dislike button. That's fine too. I'll take it. Anyway, that's it until next time. So have a great day.